Okay guys, so after the date picker, let's automate subjects and hobbies. If you will observe the subject field, right, as soon as you start typing, you get a suggestion. So either you can mouse over and select it, or you can press enter. Okay, and let's say I just type in one more subject, chemistry, and as soon as I type, I can press enter. So this field is again a bit complicated one, but let's see how we handle it easily now. Similarly, I'm not going to, write down all the code line by line here. I will just create another method, enter subject, and pass in on my. Now let me just see what is the key for subjects. That subjects. Okay. So similarly, I have to create a method for subjects now. Let me just minimize this. Enter subject. It is expecting or accepting an array of subjects, guys. So over here, right, it's a array of subjects. Okay. So that is how you can just, you know, use this thing. You can separate multiple values, provided them over here in form of an array or a set, and then separate by comma. What I need to do now is I need to iterate over it. So I need to iterate over the values, guys. So I have to use of. I cannot use in. Okay, so for subject, let's just define subject. Let subject of subjects. So guys, if you need to learn about the loop, just refer my JavaScript tutorials. I have really explained in a very simple uh, example how do we handle the iterations in JavaScript. All I have to do is cy.get. So I need to store my alias for the subject as well, which I think I haven't stored. And then it should type subject, right? Let's just store the alias for subject over here. As subject. Now you guys, from the previous video, you might be wondering why I haven't stored these things as aliases. Okay, why it is in there in this method. The only reason for this is, guys, because these are not visible to me, right? If you would see, right, when I just scroll to this page, these elements are not visible. So our constructor gets initialized first. So over there it will fail, because these elements are visible only if you click the state picker. Only then they become visible on the page. So since constructor gets called at the first time, so in my initial first video I have explained the concept, like when constructor gets called, and JavaScript videos also you can refer. Okay, so I cannot just store them beforehand. I have to, interact with these elements on the fly. So for subject, let me just get the XPath or CSS selector. Let's just get the subject element. So that is the class of the subject. Dot get. Sorry guys. Dot, this is the class of the subject, and I've gotten it as subject. Over here, dot type subject. And if you would have also observed that we have to press enter as well. So as soon as it starts typing, and once it is done typing, so how can I press enter? So the format for that is you have to use concatenation operator plus these single quotes, open and close brackets, and the key that we have to press. So over here, guys, you can also refer to the Cypress documentation. So these are the keys that are possible, that we can concat with the type. So all you need to do is plus in single quotes, enter the key. You can also press end, delete, down arrow, escape, home. So this is for enter. It types the enter key. Okay. So this is almost similar to Selenium. So wherein just you type keys, also you can send when you are sending keys. So this should select the subjects for me. Let's just save it, and let's just observe the test runner. So it should select two subjects. Yeah, date picker, English and history. That's right, guys. So this is how you select the subject, and we have covered the important concept of how we can send some keys when as we type into the element. All right. Now similarly, let's just automate hobbies as well. So hobbies data also I have stored in form of an array. But guys, this again, a complicated element hasn't got any proper CSS selector. Let's just go in here and try to figure out what we can do. So let's say I have to select only sports or only reading or all of these three. If I have to select sports, right, it is a label and it has this sports text. Now with this, guys, I just want to walk you through. We will use an important Cypress command which is contains. So over here it's the documentation. So how it works is it gets the DOM element containing the text. Right? So what does it means is you have to pass in, for example, this is my DOM element cy.get.nav. So which means it will find the element which has class .nav from the DOM and which also contains about. Means its text should contain about, and the element is having class .nav. So we're going to do something similar over here. If you would observe here, so our label is our label is sports or reading or music. What if we just get this label and we click on it, right? And probably I think this is something that we have to click, and then we can use the previous command. So let's do it in action, then you will understand it more. So again, I'm just going to create another method, enter, that's hobbies, right? Enter hobbies. What's the key for hobbies? That's great. And let's just create, so it would similar to subject, it is also an array, so it would iterate over it. So I'm just going to copy paste that, and I can just change it to hobbies if I want. Let hobby of hobbies cy.get. So let's just get the, okay, so now I'm not going to do cy.get, I'm going to use cy.contains. So what is my DOM element? It's label, isn't it? We are saying get the element from the DOM which is label, right? And that label contains, let's use hobby. For safer side, just trim it as well in case you might give some trailing or leading spaces because you're reading from JSON, so you might end up giving some extra spaces. So now basically this is getting that label which has hobby as, let's say, any of the hobbies, maybe it is sports or reading, but that is not our target element. Our target element is the input element. This is a checkbox, this is just a label. So how do we click this checkbox? I cannot use this hobbies checkbox 1 or checkbox 2. So though I can use this ID, but it is not really a relevant selector, guys. So I can just, because I'm going to pass sports as what I need to select, right? Or reading as what I need to select. So I should find that particular element, sports or reading, and then I should select the corresponding checkbox. So this is my element, and how do I get this element from this element? So we have something known as previous. So in Cypress we have previous, next, previous, all. So these are some of the common methods available in Cypress. So this gets the immediately preceding sibling. So it's so in Selenium we generate XPaths, or in the latest version of Selenium, right? We have the new XPath selectors, and this thing is similar to that, right? Preceding sibling, following sibling, and in on top of it we have these methods also. If you want to really get the next sibling of your current element, and you want to get previous all siblings of the current element, and previous until the some element is reached, so that is also a provision that we have given. So what you're going to do is, we know this is the element now, so you just get the previous element of this label and you click that. Now this hopefully should work, and it should select both the hobbies for me. Oh no, I don't think we have made any mistakes, so I have just saved it, and probably test runner should be up and picking it. Let's just see. Okay, has enqueued everything. Date selected, subject selected. I think it won't select. What's the error? Let's see. Is being covered by another element. Okay, guys. So this is again that same instance which we have run into our previous element, right? So I think probably it was, I think this gender or something. Yeah. So we did actually force equal to true. So the same thing we have to do with hobbies also now. You have to click it, but you have to force it now so that we can just bypass some checks that Cypress is doing and save it. Now this should be selecting that, because XPath there is not an issue, otherwise it would have given some different error. Wow, that's great, guys. So that is how we have like covered now few other important commands of Cypress. So I will just reiterate what we have done. We have covered how to send some special keys in some values, right? And we have also covered how to get the previous element from the current element and contains command, which is also an important one. Okay, guys. So just let me know if you need some detailed videos about these commands. But I think it's best if we cover them as we script them, so that it also, we can also see what are the different ways to handle different elements in automation. So this is just the beginning, guys. So there are a lot of other things that we have to do. In next video, we will see another important concept of uploading the picture. Okay, how do you upload a picture using Cypress?